Hello,
Hey.
welcome. Another week, another podcast, and we're so sorry that last week's podcast did not come through. So don't worry, we're gonna do two this week. You'll have one today, and you'll have one on Friday. Yvette and I'm sorry, our tech team was on vacation, so we totally messed up on that. So for those of you guys who don't know us, welcome to another episode of Just Engage University podcast. I am one of your hosts, Geovanna Burgess White. I am the proud owner of Mia Bella Houston and co-owner of Just Engage. So to my left, right.
Hey, I'm Yvette Valdenegro, and I own Pop-Up Wedding Houston. And I am the other side to this dynamic duo that we are going to be talking weddings today and describing a lot because it's so needed. Needed. I don't know if anybody else is paying attention in the universe of what's going on, but it's like more shifting, more changing. I feel like the wedding world is completely attached to whatever is going out, what's ever going on in the real world, which there's options, which I love. There's options. So if you are listening, please do not stress. Do not worry. Do not think to yourself, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing or how to do it or which choices, because today we're going to help you, again, figure out what is the best choice for you, your comfortability, your guest counts, everything. So do not be stressed, because this is going to be a great episode for you.
And if this is the first time watching, listening, thank you so much. We have over 60 episodes in the last 17 months of just wedding education, financial education. If you're in the wedding industry, wedding pro education. We are kind of super excited to still be here and be relevant and just talk about things, talk about real life, talk about money, talk about, again, what's the best thing for you? And the most important thing to us is also for you to enjoy the season. So no matter where you're at, if you just got engaged, if you're thinking about getting engaged, if you're rescheduling your wedding for the second or third time, if you're trying to plan a wedding, we really do have all the answers for you. And I'm not just saying that, we do. We have an answer for everything. So if there's something that you can't find, we haven't talked about, shoot us a DM. You can get a hold of us quickly and we can put something together for you, or we can guide you and send you back to some episodes that we've already done. And if you don't want to listen or watch us, go to Just Engage University and you can read. We have blogs. We have amazing blogs. So we have something for everyone. So today's episode is all about something for everyone in the wedding world. So no matter, again, if you want to plan a wedding, we're here to help you, but we're here to help you in a realistic way. So we're going to talk about dates. We're going to talk about details. We're going to talk about destination. Oh, the 3Ds. I love it.
I can't believe you're the one who said that, not me.
I know. And we're really just going to talk about, like, it's what I like to call the couple's wedding guide. What's the best wedding experience for you both? So this is a great time to just communicate. You'd be surprised. Someone's like, hey, I want to get married next month. Someone's like, hey, I want to get married in 2 years. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to tell you kind of like what's been popular, what's been working. And then you figure out what's best for you both. Don't worry about parents. Don't worry about society. Don't worry about, oh my God, this is like the traditional thing. Do you. You do you, and we are here to help you. So with that, this is what we're going to talk about today. The 4 easy ways to get married, the 4 experiences, however you want to call it. But based on what you both want, you can pick and choose on our guide. So we can start. Do you want to start and like we go back and forth? How do you want to do
it? Okay. Well, we're going to obviously start with elopements. Yeah. But I just want to quickly say, I think that the underlying theme to all this, like you just said, date, destination, details, the 3Ds. But I keep seeing every single phone call I receive right now, it's based completely on budgets. The big bad B word, a guest count, how many people you really want to invite, and then your time frame. Because every single thing that we're going to talk about right now is like, hey, we want to do this next month, or hey, we're going to do this next year at the end of next, whatever. And all of that, let's just be frank. I know everyone still hates to talk about the pandemic and everything that's going on, but that's what it's being based on right now. It's craziness out there because, again, it's the unknown. And we're not God. We cannot tell you what's going to be happening next year, but we can tell you how to plan successfully for the things that you don't know. So again, we have resources. We have that one blog that we wrote, how to plan a wedding A through D. So that's like segmented again, smaller to bigger. You can always add on. It's harder to take away. I think Geovanna is going to kind of modify some things a little bit, but we do have another blog on the Just Engaged Pop-Up Wedding Houston that is completely, oh my God, can somebody please describe to me all of these different options that we're about to talk about? But again, I completely echo what you just said, Gio. This is your time. And you kind of have to just say, it is what it is. You cannot make the pandemic go away. You cannot either make your budget get bigger and you win the lottery. I mean, like it just is what it is. So everything we're going to talk about today, your brain will just naturally go, gosh, that makes sense. And that sounds so wonderful. Or you'll go, ooh, I don't like that. That's not for me. Okay, great. Run with it. Whatever you think is going to be the best option. Because the best thing is we live in Houston where there is amazing wedding vendors. And I'm sure there's amazing wedding vendors all across the country that will help you get and achieve the amazing wedding that you want to have. So this isn't just for us. This is for every and all people listening out there that want wedding advice and how to figure out and navigate which is going to be the best service. So with that being said, let's just start with the fastest, most wonderful, which is elopements. And, I love that an elopement right now is not what people conceive or thought of, let's just say 10 years ago. And I love how times change. And yes, your thought process, either A, going to a courthouse, or B, hey, we went to Vegas and we eloped. That's the kind of classic. But what we're finding right now is that people are, yes, eloping, but they want to pick somewhere meaningful, special, something that has a great backdrop so they can do pictures. But in general, an elopement is usually just about an hour. That's all you're really going to need to have say your vows, to do a little celebration. I think since the pandemic even started, I don't know if we've even really technically had an elopement that's been more than around 25 people, because usually, again, it's just a smaller guest count.
Yep.
And then most people, they may add on a photographer if they want our help getting a photographer. They may add just a small little cake, but in all reality, it's just it's them. And right now, I actually get a lot of calls of people that just say it's them, maybe them and a couple witnesses. And by the way, in the state of Texas, you don't need witnesses, but just people to actually watch that they're getting married, or, significant, or just family members, keeping it short, brief, very sweet. And that's why I love the option of finding somewhere that creates a beautiful backdrop for you, or something that you will be meaningful to you in years to come, because you'll have those pictures to remember.
I love it. So then if that's not enough and you want a little bit more, so we went from like 60 minutes, now we can go up to a pop-up experience, which we love, and expert over here of pop-up. So over here. So think of this as the next step. You want to invite some more people, maybe starting at 25 guests. You want a little more time. This is going to be, again, the gorgeous backdrop. You're creating a memorable experience, not just for you, but for your intimate guest. Then we're also going to talk a little bit about maybe having first dances, having just a cake and toast, and then maybe one or two speeches. So everything really that's the most important pieces of a wedding ceremony, and capturing those moments, we do include live streaming. So think intimate small guest count there in person, but you can live stream it to anyone in the world. That would be considered your pop-up experience. So we love this one. It's a happy medium. It's not like no dinner, no dancing, but almost everything else. And Yvette has done a fantastic job with partnering up with other venues. We have many dates for the end of this year for Mia Bella Houston. And so again, starting at 25 guests, it's a 90-minute ceremony or 90-minute experience, and just creating something that you can remember, but not overwhelming and stress-free.
Yeah. The easiest way I can describe it to people is, imagine you go, to a traditional wedding. A traditional wedding is going to have your ceremony, a cocktail hour, hanging out, and then you transition into the dinner portion where you're now dancing for the rest of the night. Imagine that first 90 minutes that already happens. That is a pop-up. It's everything that leads up to a sit-down dinner. So you can have, like Gio just said, toasting, cutting of the cake, first dances, parental dances, whatever it is that you want to have in there. And we've had some great people and couples who've really made it their own. Do it. But really the only thing you're taking out is that 2 to 3 hour window or more, whatever it is that people want to have that traditional wedding. They are completely practically priced. So if you are looking for something that is a fraction of a traditional wedding or any other option, this is definitely the way to go. And I will say that the partnerships that we've built, the other thing that's great is we power pack them with so many details. And I do mean so many details and so many people bringing rental pieces and all kinds of fun stuff that you really would never be able to get outside of being able to do the pop-up events. So that's for you.
You can go to Pop-Up Wedding Houston or Mia Bella Houston and see on our Instagrams previous. You can go and see the mood boards for anything coming up. So lots of inspiration pictures and previous pictures from over 80 couples in the last 17 months. So go look at those. And then you can move into micro wedding, which is the next. So if you still want a little bit more, tell them about the micro.
Okay. So just imagine everything we just described, only with the micro. Again, you're adding people and you're adding time. Yep. So now you're telling yourself, okay, we love this concept. We want everything we just heard, but now we'd like to add a little bit more people. So it's a little bit bigger. And then the time in that time period, what people are really adding on is the food portion. It just, now you're sitting down, having dinner with that same group of people. You're staying at the venue, you're enjoying the music again, and you can add on a lot of pieces. People are, by the way, whether it's an elopement and a pop-up or a micro wedding, people are doing cool grand exits and adding in a lot of fun little details. So anyway, but that's pretty much the micro. I mean, just think of a traditional wedding, but it's just smaller in everything, not smaller in being dynamic, not smaller as in memories or experience, but just smaller in time and guest count. And what I love about the first three options that we've even been talking about, every single person that we've been doing the weddings with, no matter what they choose, all say, this is so much better than they expected. I think it really is because mentally we have this thought processes of smaller is not better, but in some regards, smaller can be better because it's more intimate and you have more opportunity to actually interact and engage with the people that are there instead of just ramboing through 300 people in a crowd and saying hi that you just like, hey, haven't seen you all pandemic, hi. It's an actual moment that you are sharing with the people that are there.
Yeah. And not to mention, we have so many reviews on both of our websites and our Google platforms that you can go and see what couples are saying. Like, that's been my favorite. Couples are like, oh my God, I could not have imagined doing this with 200 people. They enjoy the day, even though it's a smaller day, they enjoy it. Again, completely stress-free. The planning, we're doing all of that. Like, it's very much come in and enjoy it, experience what your guests are experiencing, experience the love that you have for each other. And even the pictures, like, we've seen the difference in the pictures. It's not rushed because there's not 200 people. There's not more of a time frame. It's actually, for me, this has been less is more, and, quality over quantity. And it still has everything that you would want in a traditional wedding in just a mini version. And that's been really, after the pop-up weddings, the most popular package booked at Mia Bella, because couples still want to celebrate love, but they just don't want to deal with it. And at the end of the day, we do love big weddings, but you don't know over 50% of those people. You haven't seen them, you haven't heard from them, especially now. And it's like, okay, so I'm paying for you to come enjoy my day. And a lot of people are still not coming to events. We've seen that. We've seen micro weddings where it's supposed to be 75, people, and we're still seeing guest counts at 50, 60. So really, again, this is information for you to really sit down and communicate with one another. What is the best wedding experience for you both? Not for everyone else. What's best for you both? Yeah. Now, if you still want to do a traditional wedding, don't worry. We got you. But we are going to be honest. Traditional wedding, If you want to still plan one, just wait. We'll start planning now for the end of 2022, early 2023. We're seeing the second wave happen. We're telling you right now, a lot of the things that we were seeing last year are happening again.
Totally. It's just weird.
Yes. I mean, it's like the same thing.
Trends.
We already talked about 2 episodes ago, we talked about all of the big events getting canceled again. Festivals, music concerts. So this isn't just, Gio and Yvette talking, that we're already seeing that restaurants going back to having face masks. Other cities and states going back to a less of an occupancy. So we're kind of going backwards. So if you're not in Texas, you can be anywhere else. This is happening all around the world. So again, yes, classic weddings are still a thing, but don't be planning them right now. We don't want to see you guys in the same situations as our other couples in the last 2 years. So if you will still want the traditional wedding, for us at Mia Bella, it's like 75 people or more. Go ahead and plan for 2022. Honestly, 2023. Enjoy your engagement. There's other things you can be doing, like taking our marriage or money course. Did that little plug? And creating a financial plan for each other. Talk about other things, your dreams, your wants, if you other goals. This is the time to do that and start planning your traditional, more classic wedding for end of 2022, end of 2023. And if that's not what you want, then go back to elopement, go back to pop-up, and go back to micro. Those are the things that we can help you with now, not just in Texas. I would just say for the United States, it's different in Europe and other countries, but for the United States in general, any wedding professional that has been working through this pandemic, I'm going to say that again, any wedding professional who has been working through this pandemic will tell you elopement, pop-up, micro. It's best for you as the couple, for your guest, and for your vendors. This is definitely a relationship, and we all want a great experience. We all want a great wedding to happen, and this is what's comfortable for the situation that we're currently in and that we're currently going to be in for a while. So that's why we wanted to kind of bring this to you. We've had another episode that's extremely similar, but this is really more of what do you want? What is the best thing for you? And money. Or everything, we're going back to the money world. How much money do you want to spend? How much money do you have? Because based on that, 5,000, 10,000, you're going to be able to go into elopement, pop-up, micro, or traditional. And if your heart is set on traditional and you only have $5,000 right now, you need to wait till 2023. You need to financially get yourself in a great place for the traditional wedding, because it will get more expensive. And I'm here to tell you all of these things right here in 2022 will be more expensive in Texas and more expensive all over the world. So that's another thing to be thinking about. Elopements are super short term. Most of our clients call us a month before, 2 weeks to a month before. Pop-up weddings, most of our clients are calling us 2 to 3 months before. Micro weddings, 2 to 6 months before, and then traditional is a year out. So that's kind of also think of that timeline, because you're not inviting 200 people. You're only inviting a small group for elopements, a small group for pop-ups, and even 50 people or less for micros. So think of that as you're planning. You can ask us questions anytime, and there's other podcasts and resources and blogs that you can go back and look at to really help figure out your wedding experience and what's best for you both.
Okay, I have 3. Look, 3 equals 6. 3 things I want to bring up. Stress, and being frustrated. So this is to help you think through things. Secondly, again, I will keep pushing this. Get a planner, a true planner, someone who can really help you. You will save stress and time in the long run, even if it's a day of planner, and make sure that day of planner can still be your resource. And it's not just someone who shows up a week ahead of time, because there are planners that will do that, that'll say, yes, my pricing is this because I only show up a week before we talk and then I execute on the day. No, hire a day of planner who is seriously going to be your professional in your back pocket that you can pull out at any time and ask questions to, because they can help you. They're not going to do the work for you, but they have the knowledge to help you navigate through some of these really difficult things. This should not be stressful. We've already been doing this for a year and a half in a pandemic. We already know the ins and outs, which leads me to the next thought. Please, 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 please. You will not get back your retainers. We're over that. So as you're thinking through which one of these options are for you, and this is going to be maybe harsh for someone to hear, as you're thinking through which one's better, elopement, pop-up, a micro, or a tradition for you, and you've already been educated, your vendors are completely educated. They've been going through hell and back for the past year and a half, servicing their clients, trying to do the best that they can to make sure it's a win-win for everybody and still stay in business. The excuse of, I didn't know. Oh, well, I thought I didn't read my contract. Why is it in here? Blah, blah. First of all, deposits and retainers have always been in contracts. It's always been, this is what you pay. You're not going to receive this back because we are reserving this date and time for you. During the pandemic, it was obvious because we all were learning and we all were like, how the hell are we going to get through this? Now we know we're experiencing, but those very vendors that you're asking to save the date for you, they just went through a whole year of losing business, redoing different things. And now you're going to say you're signing the dotted line and they're basing their business on that you're going to be their client in whatever time period is. So if you back out, they're not going to be giving you those retainers. So please don't bash any vendor who sticks to their contracts right now, because now you know what you are signing, which also, I guess I have 4 things. Read your contracts. Read the contracts so you know what you're signing. Okay. The other thing is, because I know a lot of like couples that get on here and they listen to this podcast, I 100% completely encourage you. This is the podcast to give your parents to listen to, because they are not on social media. They're not in with the 2021 of doing weddings. If they're my age and above, they are thinking traditional wedding and they have what the heck is a micro pop-up and elopement and then they don't care. They really don't care about the terms.
They are going to care about the check. If they're helping you pay, they're going to love the price points and the flexibility and the no stress behind it.
The no stress behind it. But instead of you trying to explain all this to them, just play this and go, hey, guys, can you please listen to this? Because this will help you guys understand what we're trying to choose as far as what is going to be the best option for us moving forward. Instead of just assuming that they understand, what is a pop-up? What's a micro? What does that mean? Just let them listen to this so they can go, oh, or send them to the blogs so that they can read really quickly so that they have a better understanding. And then, you know what, show pictures. Pictures mean everything, because again, to them, Vegas is the courthouse. I mean, eloping is Vegas in the courthouse, not the year 2021 where they can go, wow, this is the coolest elopement ever. So educate them too. Bring them into the fold. They're part of your family. They're part of the decision-making if they're helping you financially. So help educate them.
Yes. And that's the great thing about it. We're on all platforms. So if your parents don't have Instagram or they don't have Facebook, that's fine. Just send them to justengageuniversity.com. They can hit YouTube channel and it'll just take them to link. And they can watch us, they can listen to us. But it's so important for parents to also be educated, especially if they're helping you or they're thinking about helping you. Don't explain it. This is also like couples that I always recommend couples go venue shopping together, do all of their wedding planning together, because by the time you hear the information come back from either one of the partners, it's nothing of what the information was. No. And then I'm on the phone with them, then we're having to do a second tour. It's like, okay, let's eliminate that. Let's educate and don't be the messenger, okay? Just send them straight to the source and we would be happy to help them and answer any questions. Is there anything else?
No. I just say keep the spirits alive, keep love going.
Yes.
No matter what comes our way. I remember last year when they said we could only have 10 people, we were the 2 ding dongs out there making weddings happen for 10 people. So no matter what happens, you can still get married. Again, focus in on the most important thing. The most important thing is the 2 of you are coming together and you're building a life. So whether you feel like you need to do that now and you can't wait, or you want to wait till 2022, 23, it doesn't matter.
You're going to be together forever.
You're going to be learning. You're going to be, like Geo said, you're going to be taking our courses. You're going to be learning so much. It does not matter when, just do what is best for the 2 of you.
We are here to build strong relationships before walking down the aisle. That's always been Just Engage University's mission, purpose. So wherever it is you're at, do not worry, do not rush, do not stress. We are here to help you. There is a plan for everyone. There is no right or wrong. Toss out that book that was, I don't know who wrote it. This is a book on society and traditions and what they think. Tell your parents, hey, listen to Yvette and Geovanna. They know what they're talking about. And we are here. We'll be here next week again. Don't forget, Friday, you get a bonus episode because our little tech issues last week. So you have a bonus episode. Again, if you want to go backwards, just go to justengageuniversity.com. You can anywhere Just Engage University, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, website, and you will be able to get all of these episodes and more. And we look forward to celebrating love. So we'll see you next week.